Hey, so today I wanted to start off by telling you guys a story, a personal story. And all I want you to do while you're listening to the story is to pay attention to anything that comes up for you, any feelings, any sensations in your body, period, okay? That's your only task for now. So about 10 years ago, I was in a very serious relationship with a guy who was a Jehovah's Witness. And his mom and dad were elders in the whole Jehovah's Witness community. And, they were really devout and really involved in this religion. And I had seen, through witnessing their family, some amazing values and amazing results, really, that possibly came from being so involved in this way of life, in this religion. But there was also one thing that was, to me, considered a negative, and that is that, of course, he was not supposed to be allowed to be with me. To be even hanging out with me as friends was considered not a good thing. And to be considering me as a lifetime partner was really grounds to have him kicked out of the religion. I can't remember what term it is that they use, but so anyway, we continued to see each other for a while, and he didn't get kicked out because of me, but eventually, later on down the line, he did. And his whole family was not supposed to talk to him. Anybody in the religion, they were not supposed to talk to him because he was kicked out, until he changed his ways and fell back in line with what it is they believed to be the right way to live your life. Only when he had proven himself long enough that he was going to do what they said was the right way to live, then they could continue to start talking to him again. And, this is not even the most dramatic thing that has happened because of a religious belief. Obviously, in the past, people have used their religious beliefs to justify murder and all kinds of things that are not positive. And so I just want you to notice how you feel about the fact that because of a religious belief, because of your specific religious belief, you're not allowed to communicate with another human being. And the reason behind it for them was that I could take him and pull him off track. So you're not supposed to be in cohorts with someone who isn't a believer, because they could break down your belief system and pull you away from the right way to live, okay? So the reason this story has kind of come up today is because I received a comment on one of my videos, and I cannot find the comment now, so I wish I could just read it for you guys, but it was a very respectful comment. But in the comment, they were saying something, well, I believe it was in my I Like Paleo video, the one where I talk about how I respect the paleo diet for what it is that they are actually trying to say. And the person was trying to say that they felt like of course, that they didn't agree with me, and that they felt like we needed to fight for our vegan message. And I was thinking about this, as well as thinking about a lot of things that have been coming up for me lately in my whole exploration on what it is that I'm really here to give to you guys. And all of these kinds of things were just kind of mulling over in my head, and Doug told me to go ahead and just journal about it, which is always a great idea. If you have things floating around in your head, it's always great to journal. Highly recommend it. So I did. I went down and wrote down what it is I was thinking, and if you'll bear with me here, I'm just going to read what it is that I wrote, because I feel like it was just perfect in that moment, and trying to recreate that right now wouldn't be even near as good. And then I'll try to talk through some of what I'm talking about in this writing afterwards, okay? So bear with me, it's kind of long. So, beliefs are relative. That's how I start. Beliefs are relative. One person can believe wholeheartedly on one end that veganism will end all world suffering for animals, humans, and the planet, and I'm talking about myself there. because that's what I definitely believed. And, you know, still kind of continue to believe, but that was my belief system, that veganism was the end of all world suffering. This is the end, this is the answer for a ton of our problems, that, you know, I can use this to save the animals, save the humans, save the planet, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. Okay, so there's this end. And then there's another individual who will believe wholeheartedly that being a vegan will actually hinder your ability to rescue this world from all of its troubles. Because if you aren't healthy as a vegan, then, you know, then you're not going to be able to do this. And I'm talking about someone I respect very much in there, and I'm not even going into enough detail to really give it as much credit as it deserves, as he deserves. But I'm saying that there's this end, and then there's a whole other end. And there's two people who have belief systems who are different, but both feel like their belief systems are the right way. Similar to how it is in religion. So anyway, I go on. So who is right? How do you know who is right? Depending on your belief, you will choose a side and say that they are right. But in reality, we don't really know who is the right one, or if there even is a right one. It's similar to religion. Most every major religion has used their belief to justify murdering others who don't believe the same way. So which side is right? With veganism, we spew hate and fight with the other side because of our strong belief. But I am personally tired of perpetuating this notion that my beliefs are more important than another human being. My beliefs I'm tired of perpetuating the idea that my belief system is more important than another being, and that beliefs in general are more important than my experience or another person's experience. So it is beyond time for us to place more importance on what we are experiencing rather than what we think or believe about something that happened in the past. If belief is relative, and it is, then I could never know what is truly right for you if I'm operating through my belief system. I will never be able to know what is actually honestly right for you in this moment if I'm simply answering out of my belief system. However, if I instead operate through your experience right now, if I choose to listen and pay attention to your sensual experience in this moment, then I can make a much better conclusion about what may be good or bad for you at this time. So this leads me to what I feel is the next thing that I am meant to help others accomplish, and that is rediscovering our here and now experience, rediscovering our intuition and our sensual perception, and using all of that to guide our decisions and to guide the vision that we have for our lives. And making sure that in the process, we don't fall back into the trap of believing that what was right for you a year ago must be 100% right for you today, or that it's right for your neighbor. So connecting with our fluid inner voice, our intelligence, through our senses yields much better results, plus you get to have a lot of fun along the way. So that was the first part. And I hope that you're following along okay. I know it's hard because I think about these things all the time. So to me it's clear. So if it's unclear to you what I'm trying to say, then please let me know in the comments below and I will go into more detail. So at this point I just made notes about a couple of people that I wanted to talk about, and that is it's just that people such as, so like take Denise Minker for example. She wholeheartedly tried the 80-10-10 diet, really wanted it to work for her, had adverse symptoms, it didn't work for her. She added in a little bit of meat, animal products back into her diet, and everything went away, and she feels fantastic now. And the issue I have, after I studied her and I read her work and, you know, all of her ideas and that sort of thing, that was one kind of chink in my belief system, and it was because I'm saying we, but there seems to be a group of people in the vegan community, the raw vegan community, low fat vegan, you know, whatever it is, that really start to hate or reject people if they have decided through their own personal experience, honest experience, that this is not the right way for them. Then all of a sudden we reject them, and we, reject their experience because of our belief system. And for me, once I realized that's what I was doing, I knew in that moment that was not right for me. I know that I love eating plant foods, and I love the way it makes me feel, and I love what I felt like I could see the ripple effect out into the world. But this aspect of myself of putting my belief system before another person's experience and rejecting them because of their experience was definitely not something that I wanted to be a part of. And it's something I no longer want to be a part of. And it's the same, Denise Minger was one of the people. And then also when I studied Paul Chek, I respect Paul Chek so much. There's so many amazing, wonderful things that come out of that human being. And yet he was even raised by a vegan mother, and it just didn't work for them. And he helps people who have been vegan for a long time overcome their belief system to help them find true health in the moment. And so he has a whole different belief system about the way things work and about the way the food works for you and all different kinds of things. But who am I to say that he's wrong? Just because I feel like I'm right doesn't mean that I have to justify myself and say he's wrong. We can both be right, and I don't know how to explain it very well yet, but I'm no longer choosing to say he's wrong, she's wrong. My way is right. My way is the only way. That does not feel right. But what does feel right is experience, sensual experience in the moment, listening to our intuition. And our intuition is hard because we want to know what the right way is. I think I've talked about this before. I personally, I was always on the lookout for what is the right way. And we get a sense of security out of our belief system, because all of a sudden we feel like we know right from wrong. We know what we need to be doing in each moment. We know how we should be eating, how we should be living, all of these things. And when you step outside of this belief system and instead choose to start listening to the intuition, instead start becoming present. What I was trying to say real quick was that when you detach from your belief system and instead start listening to your intuition and start being present in the moment, then it can feel very scary at first. It can feel like you've lost all sense of security. You've lost any false sense of security, really, that your belief system is giving you, because it really is just this false sense of security, I believe. So anyway, but the more that you start to listen to your intuition, the more you start to be really present and giving your intuition a chance and following through with what it is that it's saying, then the more you get a true sense of security from that. In the midst of everything changing, everything's always going to be constantly changing. Life is going to be flowing and moving, and these are all the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be adaptable and ready for these changes. And the more that you get comfortable with that, the more secure you're going to feel in each and every moment. And it's a completely different feeling than the security that you feel from a belief system, because it's not. The security that you get from a belief system is from outside of yourself. And so it never quite feels 100% secure, and it's not really, because there's always that part of you that is the true part of you, that knowing that doesn't quite connect 100% with maybe all of the belief system or whatever it is. And so you're always maybe questioning some parts of it, or in little ways, or whatever it is. It's just not 100% secure. It never is. And so, but once you get accustomed to the intuition, get accustomed to the present moment, And the security that comes from that is a deeper sense of security. It's a much more real sense of security, but you also have to be able to be open to the fluidity. Okay, so camera shut off on me. I guess I'm long-winded today. So I just had a little bit left of my journal entry that I wanted to read to you guys. So I was thinking about how our world is getting smaller and that we now get to witness belief systems from all over the planet. And at first, this seems to make life more difficult. So same thing whenever you first realize that your religion that you grew up with wasn't necessarily the truth. And then you went on a search for any other religion that felt like the truth. It seems so hard at first because you're like, there's so many here. How do I know what's the right one? I just want to know what's the right one. And it's the same thing with diet. When you first learned that the way that you grew up eating wasn't the best way to eat, but then you realized, you started studying and you realized there's 100 different ways to eat. So how do I know which is the right one? Just tell me which is the right one. And it seems so hard, and it makes life seem a little unstable and scary. So anyway, with so many right diets out there, how do I know which one is right for me? Same with religion and many other areas we create belief systems about. But I'm beginning to see this more as a benefit and an exciting time. Now we can recognize belief systems for what they really are, simply constructs built by our minds that filter our reality, which gives us freedom then to try on different belief systems to see which one gives us the best results. The value in belief systems is no longer to help us determine right from wrong, but rather to give us a set of codes to play by to achieve certain results. If we don't like the results, if the belief system doesn't work for us, we don't have to remain trapped inside of it any longer. And best of all, we can choose to remain outside of any belief system simply by choosing to be present in the moment, in our experience, lost in our senses. When we do this, we can see the real results of our present actions instead of filtered information based mostly on the past. So, that was the majority of what I wanted to say today, and I hope that gives you kind of a clear sense of a direction that I'm kind of heading, and I'm still working out all of the details, but I wanted to tell you that it's not going to be all these philosophical lectures like today. I just really wanted to give you my deepest, innermost thoughts on this subject as kind of a way to lead into all of the work that I'm going to be doing soon. So that you just get a good base groundwork of what it is that I've been personally working on, and so that you can tell is this resonating with me. Then I think if it is, then you're really gonna love what is coming up later from me, what it is that I'm working on. But I wanted to promise you, it's not going to be these boring. If it feels boring to you, these boring philosophical lectures and that sort of a thing, it's going to be so much fun. I am so ridiculously excited about some of the things that I'm creating for you to experience with me. It's going to be a blast, I think. And it's been very exhilarating for me to be going through this process even more on a deeper level, and I absolutely cannot wait to see your guys' experiences after you start going through it with me. Okay, so there's my teaser for the day. There's my new direction. And like I said, if it's unclear, please, any questions, comments, any of that stuff, leave them below and I will try to answer them as best as I can. Okay, I love you guys very much. Thank you for listening to me today, and I will see you guys soon. Love you. Bye.